All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's going on, everybody? It's Real Talk. Got the fellas here today. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening with you, Ray?
You know, man, can't call it. Had a little STEM event at my daughter's school, so I learned a little bit. We dropped the egg from somewhere, from a height, and it didn't break. So I'm an engineer, did that well. And my marriage is solid, unlike a lot of people in today's world.
We're going right into it then, huh? You might need to do that again, Dev.
There's only one way to do it. And they ain't married, at least not that couple, but there is another one that we'll talk about here shortly. But good, man. Glad to have everybody. We're going to get into it because we got a lot that we got to try and get to, but we got to start with Nia Long. And the unfortunate news. Yeah, crazy. As we all know, the Boston Celtics head coach, Ime Udoka, is on the verge of being suspended for a year because he was bagging his chick at work, and you can't be doing that when it's subordinate. It's explicitly written out. You can't be banging chicks that work with you. Like, that's not okay. And that also, your girlfriend's a celebrity or fiance, I believe. I don't know if they ever got married, but she been at the games, so it ain't like she was low key. And you just decided, hey.
Somebody was low key though.
Until they wasn't. And that's the real story. Because somebody snitched. And I just want to know who it was. Maybe we'll know. Maybe we'll never know. But, man, what a time. What a time. Fellas, y'all thoughts when y'all heard the news?
I mean, first thing I thought was how you cheat on Nia Long. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I feel like that as a lot of people, that's the first thing that came to my mind. But all seriousness, man, this is bad for the organization. This is bad for him. I mean, this suspension. You said Ray's going to be a year.
That's what they're saying. They say he's not going to lose his job, but they're looking at a year. I don't even know how you suspend a coach for a year.
For a year, yeah. I don't know where the year comes from. But I'll say this: I look at the
nobody's going to take the job.
Exactly. I look at the all-season acquisitions they made. Yes, you lose Danilo Gallinari, but still have Malcolm Brogdon, and they were in the finals last year, and that was his first year as the head coach. So I look at the strides that they were going to make. So to put on my serious basketball hat, this is bad for the team, bad for an organization, and I'm curious to see what they will be like next year. Because a lot of people, like, if you don't have your head coach, you're getting another head coach with another.
Net.
Like, I don't know what to make of this team right now.
So Dan,
first thing I thought was how you cheat on Nia Long. Yeah, it's just terrible.
So Dan, but first thing before you go, do you feel this punishment was adequate? If it is a year, should it be more? Should it be less? Was it too much?
It is a very hard question to answer because it's like we are focusing on one person, one person only. You know what I mean? It takes two to tangle. So what happens? What's going on with the female? You know what I mean? Is she the leak? Is she the reason why she was like, you know what? You gonna leave me or you gonna leave me alone? Which one is going to be? And my man was like, I'm choosing Nia. She was like, you know what? Press, where you at? Where you at? I got something for y'all. It's like, no, but that is I don't know because it's like what do a year of him not being a coach has to do with his personal life? You know what I mean? Because now, what if he just take this year off and he still entertain this young lady? Then what? You gonna fire him? You know what I mean? They always say you can't be mad of a person who they love or who they like, anything in that nature. That's just your natural human instinct, anything in that nature. So I can't really say if the punishment is fair enough because I'm pretty sure there's something in the contract that said no fraternizing with your colleagues and stuff like that. So if he broke that rule, then by all means, like, yeah, you got to get punished. You do the crime, you got to do the time. But Nia Long, though, yo, have y'all seen her and how she looked, man? Like, no disrespect to the young lady, but Nia Long, man, I don't know, man.
Before I was
Y'all know what I
too.
said in that group chat. Y'all know what I called her. I just couldn't believe it.
Go ahead, Chris.
Nia Long. Hey.
No, I was just saying, like, you know, the first thing that came to my mind obviously was Nia Long, but if we taking it back to the Celtics and the organization, like, is a year too much? I feel like it's too much. I feel like it's way too much. You know, I've seen players and coaches and owners get away, you know, doing way more and get it less time.
See, but that's the thing, though, right there. They dealing. You see how they dealing with one owner right now in the Suns, trying to get him, and it's so hard. So I guess they figure like, well, let's get to a person we know we can get to a little bit easier than an owner. And, you know, a coach's job, you can, you can get to a coach's job before you can get to an owner's position.
Very
you
true.
know what I mean?
But just for clarity, though, this is the Boston issue. This is not an NBA issue.
Oh yeah. Boston, I know that. That's why I don't understand why Boston would give him a year. I understand I would suspend him or, you know, suspension without pay. You know, do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, do you want to win? Not saying he deserves the pass, but a year is too much. A year is too much. I think, you know, a month or two and some fines, maybe have him suspended to the new year. But the whole entire basketball year, you might as well throw the season away.
Throw the whole season away?
If you're gonna have a new coach in there for the year, what's the point? What's the point? I'm not going to say the Celtics have any chance. You get a new coach and another tweaked out system after you just had a new system last year. I'm cool. I'm not picking the Celtics if they have to. If they don't have their head coach for the entire year, you're going to believe in them.
The bright side of this is that at least it didn't happen during the season.
Okay,
kind of,
right.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
They still didn't go through training camp yet, so you know they had some time to at least gel and figure out is this interim coach coaching scheme good enough for, you know what I mean, for their season. So that's the bright side of it, but I'm not gonna say Udoka is the big factor of this whole the way how Boston had their season last year, but this might can instill fire to Boston. This might can say like, look, we don't need a coach. I mean, we need a coach to coaches, but he's not out here laced up and sweating and strapping up against, you know, the world's best every night or anything in that nature. So, like I said, at least the bright side is early.
I'm curious to hear Ray's thoughts on this.
I got a lot. I personally think this is crazy. That this is a story. Like, you know how in life, when we be having discussions about stuff, and just quick update, the Pittsburgh Steelers just scored in Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. And then,
gotta keep them on, y'all.
13-13 currently. But in these kind of situations, I'm like, is the DB like an idiot jumps over him? He could have touched him down and saved the touchdown, but he jumped over. But it's because he's a quarterback. That's silly. You should have crushed him.
Trying to be the hit.
You
Trying to be the hero.
You go head first. I'm putting your head into the turf. But I digress. But yeah, it's like that lifestyle, sports and entertainment and music and all that, it operates different. It's not like regular life. Being the relationship, that the dynamic that this individual had, yes, I 100% understand legally. If whatever happened, if she was Becky Hammond and she was getting passed over for promotions, you could look at this. If she got fast tracked ahead of somebody, that part I definitely understand. But this is a conversation. Like, unless there's like a documented history of like they knew and they told him to stop and he just wouldn't stop and they just kept going, and like there's a lot more to this story. If it just broke and this was it, this is nuts. Like, and I'm with Chris. Their season's over, as far as I'm concerned.
Oof.
If he out for it, and their season being over could close their window. Like, you never bring back the same team. So the Marcus Smarts, the Al Horfords, the Robert Williams, who has injury history, all of them gonna have more miles in them legs. Jaylen Brown, you know, Kanye, he gonna get him. He gonna get him some money. So he performed like that, and Jason Tatum keep performing like that. Jaylen Brown gonna have a problem not being paid more than Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
So the Malcolm Brogdon, that was a win now move. You made all these win now moves, and you ain't gonna win now. Like, I'm sorry. There's a reason they went to the finals with that roster in their first year, and it was their head coach. They started slow, but they figured it out. So I just think that's wild. Whoever leaked this, I hope it was worth it. Whatever axe you had to grind, like.
But what if this is a past relationship though? Like, what if this is old? Like, what if this, you know what I mean, it's just new to us, but old to the, you know what I mean?
They wouldn't be suspending them if it was old.
Or what? I don't know. Yeah, I see what you're talking now.
So I just think it's wild. And here's the other issue, or the other thing. And I know it's funny to talk about it, but, and I mean this respectfully, there's not a woman in this world that won't get cheated on if a man want to cheat. So I get Nia, she's bad. But Bigger and better have had worse done to them. So hopefully they can figure out whatever that is. They had a kid together. That's always nasty. That's always tough to deal with in these kind of situations when you got kids involved and you're a public figure. And if they're of age, their friends might know about it. I think that part is really unfortunate that it gets a news cycle and, kids are affected. That part sucks, but that's the world that you sign up for when you choose that life. So it sucks. Like I said, this may close Boston's window. We'll see what they do, but I think this might put a nail in it. Kenny, what's going on, brother?
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Kenny?
What's up, Kenny?
And NY?
Yeah, man. Sorry, late. Nephew had a football game, so I'm just getting back. Took an L, but he played hard, so that's all that matters. But anyway, So I'll jump in real quick. I think the biggest thing, like to me, this is like the moral police just going out of control. Because we don't know what their relationship dynamic is. You know, we're in the era of open marriages. So, like, I just think that this was a total rush to judgment, and I think it's a total overreaction. And as a person who knows, I was with my uncle a lot during his time in the NBA. So all I'm gonna say is this is nothing new.
I mean, that's what they said on Undisputed today. Skip said, like, it was more common than not.
Absolutely.
That was like,
absolutely.
So, like, to your point, the moral police part is just silly. It's an overreaction. This is a conversation.
And
these
with
are
the
grown
Mavericks,
adults.
the whole situation with the Mavericks, you didn't do nowhere near. You didn't have nowhere near this type of punishment for the Mavericks situation with all the HR problems that they were having over there. As a matter of fact, I talked to one of the Maverick scouts. Well, she used to be a scout. She's happened to one of her kids goes to the school that I work at, and so she was telling us one day after practice, and she was like, without giving it too much away, she was basically saying like, it was buck wild in terms of the environment that she had to deal with. So this is not anything new. So like, to me, this is I hate to say it, but to me, there's some racial overtones to this.
That was going to be my final point. Is I just don't think this happens to. I'm trying to think of a white coach that I think will happen to. I don't see it. Not a year. A year?
How long did it take for them to get Rick Pitino out of there? And how much?
It took years to get Rick Pitino up out of there.
So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And we'll go on from there. Last thing, Kenny, what do you think of what does this do to Boston for this year? If he's gone for the year.
I think it definitely pretty much kills their chances of being a contender. I think that they'll wind up, in that second tier in terms of between 6 to 9 seed. I think it causes other teams to move up because he was clearly the head of the snake. He was clearly the leader in terms of that team. But I will say also they do have some veterans on that team, so they may be able to rally to a degree. But I think you need that as the coach. You need that guy that's going to make the adjustments. The guy that's going to establish the rotations. The guy that's going to change things on the fly. Like you're basically going to bring somebody in, and I'm curious to see now. The question is who do they bring in to replace them as the interim? Do you bring in somebody on his staff?
Got to. Who's going to take that job? It's a year.
Yeah. But I'm just saying who on that staff is, because if I can recall, I don't think there's anybody on that staff that has any head coaching experience in the league.
And I just came through. I don't have my phone. I got a notification on my iPad. He has been suspended for the year.
Okay. That's terrible. That's trash. That's trash. I just got the notification as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got it too.
That's bad. But to answer your question, if somebody would take that coach for a year, a coach that's trying to land a different head coaching job. So, if the opportunity came where if you had to coach somewhere for a year and then something else opens up, because there's one guy that should have been a head coach about 7 years ago that I believe he goes to the Boston Celtics, they'll do just as good as last year, which is a finals, at least the Eastern Conference Finals appearance.
Right, but you got to think they're gonna let a new guy come in and fire the staff and bring his whole staff in.
Hey, I'm just ready.
You got a point. You got a point.
Training camp
What'd you
is
say,
starting
Ken?
no, I was saying you can't do this late in the game. Training camp is starting in the next
They've
week.
made assistant coach Joe Mazzulla the interim head coach. Joe Mazzulla will be the interim head coach.
I've
Brad
heard a
Stevens
lot of-
might as well come back down and start coaching for the year.
We saw
That's
that didn't go
that's
well.
what I would do.
That
If
didn't
I'm
go
a
well.
Celtics, that's what I would do.
I don't think the players want that.
You could be right.
You could be right.
I'm gonna say,
They
wasn't
kicked
him
they
Marcus
kicked him
Smart
upstairs
that
for a
didn't get
reason.
along with Bradley Stevens?
I mean, Mark Smart don't get it along with a lot of people, but I do believe they had some there was some smoke there. But that's the other part. Those are some big personalities in that locker room. Like, you got to manage that Smart bench situation now, because now he's back on the bench with Brogdon coming in. Brogdon isn't always the healthiest of people, so that ain't no cakewalk. And then you got Tatum coming off the finals he had, and Jaylen Brown coming off the finals and playoffs he had. So
And being in the trade beat.
Robert Williams, I think he's out. I think I said he had surgery, a knee surgery or something. So he'll be out. I'm pretty sure. I'll try and find it real quick, but I think I read he was going to be out for a little bit to start the season. I think he might.
Sound like Boston is already at the bottom of the tier already.
Celtics not. Oh yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. Arthroscopic knee surgery, so he's already had lower leg problems, and now he has a surgery this close.
Yeah, he ain't coming back to All-Star break now.
That's not good.
So yeah,
it's just, for like 50.
Pride, feel free to come on whenever.
Damon, you're right.
But yeah, it's just the dynamic in the East for sure. I think the teams at the top, you don't take a huge sigh of relief, but I think that team's gonna be different. So we saw what Brooklyn was. Late game coaching is critical, and we'll see what old Joe got. From what I understand, he's kind of one of those guys that's highly talked about, but we'll see when you're sitting in that seat in that big chair what you do. We got ourselves a 14-13 game. It's almost halftime. Steelers are currently ahead, and so it's basically an even game. We can still pick it. Dev, I'll go with you. Who you got tonight?
I hate to say it, what I mean, but I ride with the team with that black and yellow.
All right. Chris, who you got?
Browns.
All right. Oh, we got a conflict. Somebody gonna be wrong.
Yeah, I got the Browns as well. I think they have more talent offensively, better running game, and I think they have a slightly better defense. So I got the Browns also.
Especially with no TJ Watt.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. I'm going to. Do I want to leave him on an island? I am going to go Browns. Nah, I'm gonna go.
You can leave me on. You can leave me on the island. That's cool. You know what I mean?
Usually it's the people on the island that do best. We saw that last week. You don't get to that poor performance by my
Dang.
coach.
Just keep throwing them shots. You just live in the past.
I mean, it is what it is.
You just live in the past.
It's been a pretty
Made
good
my
game.
man Kenny leave off the screen.
Kenny ran off again.
No, I'm still here.
Y'all better hope I don't learn some graphics. I'm gonna be putting some graphics up here. Y'all keep having 1 to 6 weeks. I'm gonna pay somebody just to get that up. But we are on to week 3, ladies and gentlemen. We are on to week 3. As I stated, Chris was not here last Thursday, so Chris is 0-0 on the year. He
was ducking smoke. He was ducking smoke. Boy, he was ducking. Well, the last time we seen Chris, man, his hair was lower than that, man. Now look at him. Look at him.
Listen.
Man, come out of hibernation when summer is over with and everything.
Listen. I'd have lost it. A lot of lost, a couple games because of your Ravens. They messed my tickets all up.
Dang, man. Look, man. Look. Man, I miss you. Golly.
I
Golly.
But let's get into it because, like I said, we got a lot to cover. And it's already 9:30. First game, Bills and the Miracle Man, Tua Tagovailoa, 6 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, incredible. Dev, who you got?
I'm taking the Bills. You know I ain't picking the Dolphins after what the Dolphins just did to my boys. Why would I pick them? You know what I mean? I don't believe. You know what I mean? No. I ain't take. It doesn't. Because you see, he did it real low as he didn't want to get that flag this year. So, you know what I mean? So, I like the Bills. I think the Bills are a better team. I think this is going to be the Dolphins' test to really see if Tua is that quarterback that y'all keep on raving him to be since he got us.
Hey, we're going to take a quick sidebar. And I forget, do we know what the game is? Is it in Miami or is it in Buffalo? Do we know?
It is going to be in Miami.
Okay, so it's not as big a deal. But I will say this. I believe Buffalo has looked like the best team in football so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
If Miami wins and Tua has similar performance, we might got to start putting them in a very different conversation.
Not yet.
I'm not a Tua person. I'm not a Tua fan. Trust me. But I got to give credit where credit is due. And he followed this game up with another big dub against Buffalo.
Now, what if he followed this game up with a scrub, though? I'm talking about one touchdown, 5 interception type game. Then what?
5 picks.
I'm just saying this hypothetical, but then what?
Then he'll be more of what I thought he was. Because I don't believe he can do what he did last week again. That's like Cam's start of his career where he just went crazy. He will never do that again, in my opinion. But if he start doing it or getting close to it, I mean, he did that. I got to give him that credit. But Chris, who you got? Dolphins, Bills.
Bills. I'm ready to go. I don't even got to think about my answers. Bills.
Dang.
Kenny, who you got?
Yeah, Bills. I think that's Miami comes back to reality this week. Oh
man, everybody picking the Bills. We see what happened when Tom Brady used to go down there, but I'm a ride with my Bills because I got them going and they have it amazing. But we'll see. Next, we got you're gonna put some respect on the Detroit Lions, Kenny, versus the Minnesota Vikings coming off of disappointing.
Don't try to soft pedal your
two teams that lost to the leaders of the NFCs.
And they both came at you. I don't know who to shoot the guns for.
Right.
On that one, it's like they both. Came at you.
Got the question now. They just started pulling out the big gun.
Golly, I was just like, who did I press the button for?
As I was saying. Damn, who you got?
I'm taking Detroit Lions. Minnesota, they hurt my heart, get spanked. What was that Monday night, man?
You should have known what it was, Dev. Come on now.
And then Motown made sure that they ain't let the Commodores come into town last week. So you know what I mean? I like that.
Dev, are you really in a position to be shooting at anybody? Do you really want to start shooting?
Yeah.
After that choke job y'all had up there, that abomination that y'all just allowed to happen by Tua?
Y'all got a quarterback that's an abomination. Ain't that why the Eagles got rid of him?
No.
Ain't that why the Colts got rid of him? They said, you know,
And look at the Colts now. I bet the Colts wish they could redo that trade.
And that's a shame that they chose Matt Ryan over Carson Wentz. Then that's a shame.
That's why people keep getting fired because they keep picking the wrong players.
Anywho, I like Motown. I like Motown this week.
All right. Who else we got? Chris, you said you ain't even got to wait. Give it to us.
Nah, I like Minnesota on a bounce back week. You know, both of these teams lost to the best team in the NFC East. So, you know, they're both losers. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm going with the Vikings.
Dang.
A subtle jab.
You talking about Lamar lost the game? Damien, I want you to go back and watch the tape.
Did he win it?
You gotta watch that tape.
Did he win it down the stretch? Don't get me started. Kenny, who you got?
Yeah,
also win it down the stretch against Detroit? I think so.
I didn't hear what you said.
I told y'all on Monday. I'm done with Kirk Cousins. I gave him one chance, and of course he lets me down. So I'm not doing that again.
Fair enough. We're on to New England.
He had his arms folded and everything, like he was upset about that.
No, the only thing he's good for me is getting Justin Jefferson the ball so I can fill my fantasy team. That's it.
All right,
that's it, man.
Oh, we know Kirk Cousins is his fantasy point goal getter.
Hey, next Thursday we got Dolphins Bengals.
It's a good game.
Especially depending on how this week goes. Don't let Cincinnati lose again this week.
Yeah, I said we got to see Cincinnati offensive line first.
Cincinnati bandwagon.
I'm about to.
They ruined the ticket for me. I'm off the bandwagon.
But you know, it's something about losing that Super Bowl is always. I don't know if it's like some kind of curse behind it because whenever that team loses the Super Bowl, the next year they're like trash.
I said it and I backed off. I just felt they wouldn't be as good.
I understand where you're coming from, but being as good and just shooting yourself in the foot week by week.
But that's a good thing to a certain extent because if you fix those mistakes, which are fixable, you can get going again.
Oh no, 100%. 100%.
Same mistakes from last year, though.
Exactly. You would think, coming off a Super Bowl with all this, enthusiasm in the locker room, the players with the coaches with the front office, that these little mistakes wouldn't still lose you games, and there's little mistakes.
But you want to know why the mistakes are happening?
Little mistakes against the Steelers. Let me know something, Ray. Enlighten us.
Because
they don't have Carson Wentz.
Head beat in.
Oh no, that's true. 100%. 100%.
And now
you can't do anything without offensive line.
That's Andrew Luck Jr. right now.
Andrew Luck, gonna turn into David Carr or something.
Carson Wentz went through it. Andrew Luck went through it. A lot of these quarterbacks go through it. You see without, Patrick Mahomes went through it in the Super Bowl. Without offensive line, you can't be successful.
Well, you've seen Brady go through it when you're dealing with pressure. I'm putting them in the category as a slight. It wasn't even a prop. Anyway, goodness gracious. On to the next game. Dev.
Oh, I already picked.
No, did you? I didn't know you.
I picked that Detroit. I picked the Detroit name.
Baltimore, New England. Baltimore. I said on to New England. Baltimore, New England.
Oh, my bad. Y'all already know who I picked. No question. I'm gambling again. I'm gambling. I am gambling again.
15 on Baltimore. Let's ride.
You said you got Baltimore by 15, Chris?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing jokes, but I do have Baltimore winning. I'm saying I got 15 on it. We got Baltimore beating the Patriots.
All right. Kenny, who you got?
What was the matchup? I'm sorry.
Baltimore versus New England.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Baltimore, because
sucks.
I've been hammering this all year. I said that the New England is going to struggle, and I just think offensively they're just going to continue to struggle, and I don't know how much that defense can hold up, and especially with the way that Lamar Jackson is playing. So I have Baltimore.
All right. I am going Baltimore as well, not because I believe in Baltimore, because I have no faith in New England. And I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it. They need to fire Bill Belichick, the GM. He's put that team together, and they're not good. We're going to go out west. My man Jay Ness, wish he was here. Best of luck to him. But I'm going to go with Arizona and Rams. Kenny, who you got?
Rams. Arizona's struggling. Kyler Murray's been struggling the last couple weeks. I'm just not of the belief that they can get back to the level that they were at until they get D-Hop back. So yeah, I'm going Rams.
Chris, who you got?
Sadly, I'm going with the Rams. The Rams have been disappointing me all year, but with the Cardinals, I gotta agree with Kenny. You know, without D-Hop, you don't know what you're going to get from this team offensively. Defensively, they have their moments. I look at last week. You know, with a more complete team, they lose that game against the Raiders. It doesn't go to OT. Kyler Murray doesn't do he never has a chance to do all the great things that he does. So with that being said, you know, I'm with Kenny. I'm going Rams, sadly. It's a nasty pick.
All right, I'm going Rams as well. Y'all know how I feel about Kyler Murray. Dev, who you got?
Rams. I don't believe in the Cardinals this year, man. They ain't showed me nothing.
As long as that guy's a quarterback, you should not believe in him. That's just.
I heard that stat with Call of Duty and Kyler Murray.
What did you say?
Oh, y'all didn't see the memes with Call of Duty and Kyler Murray? It's like I'll send it in the chat, but it's basically like when there's like a certain thing going on with the new Call of Duty. You know, when the new Call of Duty drops, they always lose, or he always plays bad. It's a crazy stat. It's a crazy stat.
Like the second half of the year, because it usually drops in like November. He just
starts. Yes, it's I'll find it, but the memes are hilarious, and the numbers actually back it up.
Interesting.
Going Pats is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Patriots they have no chance. I think it's crazy.
I think New England, they're 1-1 for a reason. They
have no offense.
They ain't gonna get blown out. I mean, that Ravens defense didn't exactly scare anybody. So, I mean, what are we talking about? We just saw what Tua did. Mac Jones had a better year at Alabama.
Tua is better than Mac Jones for one, and his weapons are better than Mac Jones for two.
His weapons are definitely better. So I agree they're not going to score 50, but if all they need is 17, we'll see. But we all the same way on that. Rams, but here's the good one. Time to put up. We got Packers, Tampa Bay. We got.
You gonna skip over our game like that, Ray?
I skipped over a game.
Yeah, you skipped over. You know, the Eagles versus the Commanders.
You know, he's trying to skip over that. He's trying to see if this team can win.
Did I miss that? How did I miss it? Thank you, Chris. I did not see. I don't know how I missed that when I was making the schedule. We're gonna do that.
Right.
We'll get to it. But I need to stay on schedule. Green Bay at Tampa. Kenny, who you got?
Oh, this is tough, man. You got two offenses that are kind of muddling right now. They're not really clicking on all cylinders just yet. And then Mike Evans is out for suspension, so I'm going to go Green Bay.
Ooh. All right. Dev, who you got?
I think Bray might be proud of me, like he was seeing his son on first taking his first step or anything. I'm going with the Bucks. Y'all know I'm a Aaron Rodgers fan, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers and his crew got enough to for the Bucks. And I like the Bucks defense better than the Packers defense right now.
Chris, give it to us.
Only because they're at home. I'm going to give a slight edge to Tampa Bay. Slight
Y'all
edge.
are making me sick. Why are y'all picking Tampa?
He mad because he ain't gonna get that large victory this week. Nah, buddy, you ain't standing alone this week.
I saw what y'all record was last week, and I'm picking with y'all this week, so it makes me nervous.
Oh, my record will be amazing this week. Don't worry.
All right. I too, I'm going Tom here. But bigger than that for me, if Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams, I got it. But coming off the week they just had, if they can't beat this version of Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, I don't ever want to hear anybody talk about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady comparison again. If he can't beat this version of this team, this man looks terrible, Tom Brady. He's not throwing the ball. The offense ain't there. The weapons ain't there. His wife ain't there. Like, nothing's there. You better be able to beat this team at this point. Or you shut up. Because you talking too much. And we may get to that a little bit later. But they better win. They better win. But I'm still picking Tampa. I ain't picking Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady.
We know you ain't. We know you ain't. We know you're not.
Not now,
we
not
didn't
never.
Expect you to. We didn't expect
not
you
now,
to.
Not never. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. We can get to it. Washington and Philly. Surprise, surprise. Chris, who you got?
The best team in the NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles.
I guess everybody's going Philly, I'm guessing.
You damn right.
Got to tell y'all.
No, I'm in agreement. I would love to believe that we're going to have a revenge game, but I didn't have faith in him before, and actually watching him be my quarterback, God, this is awful. Like, it is torture watching him play the position of quarterback. Y'all defense hasn't been as good as I thought it would be.
I agree with that.
But your offense has been better than I thought it would be. Jalen Hurts, quiet as kept, is an MVP candidate for me this year.
Glad y'all recognize.
Like, I liked him coming out of college, but his jump from last year to this year, and it could just be the weapons. We talked about Tua, and now that he got weapons, like, it makes a difference. We talked about Christian Kirk getting overpaid. Christian Kirk been balling out, quiet as kept. And that Jaguar offense looks a lot better with him in it. So these receivers matter. These receivers definitely matter. And AJ Brown is showing me he's better than I thought he was. I didn't know he was this. I didn't really see him in Tennessee. I saw he put up the numbers he did with Julio, but Julio was out. So to see him come over here and do what he's doing and y'all to get Smith going, I picked y'all to win the division, and it's y'all right there.
I didn't know how well AJ Brown ran route. You know what I mean? I didn't know he can run routes like that, and to see him actually can run the route tree, I was like, all right, AJ Brown, you might need to be in this conversation with some of these top 10 wide receivers, maybe.
I'm not going higher than 10-15. I'm being realistic. He hasn't shown me enough to go anything higher than.
It's just hard, 15. Dog.
It's
balling, and you think
because you got it's hard ranking receivers. For some teams, you got 2 top 10. You got 3 receivers on the field at once. So there's nothing wrong with being the 15th best receiver in the NFL, in my opinion.
I got him ahead of DK though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't hurt my feelings.
So, I mean, he's putting up that tandem. That's a young tandem. And Smith still, he got 2 more years on his rookie deal?
2 or 3, because this is sophomore year.
Yeah, because
So
that's
they,
they
they,
do that
AJ
50
It'd
already
be a
got
second
paid.
round pick, so that could change things.
So I mean, as a Commanders fan, I don't like it. But we've been dealing with this forever. We've been dealing with wide receiver skill talent most of my life. So it just is what it is. So all right. Eagles there. We're gonna go out west. We like I said, we got a lot to get to. It's almost 10 o'clock. We haven't got far, but I do want to. We need to talk about Denver because I ain't liked what I've seen at all so far, and I quiet as kept ain't liked what I've seen out of Russ for like a couple years now, for real. But we got San Francisco at Denver. Dev, who you got?
Man said that Sam Howell play.
I bet
Sam
the
Howell,
play would be more
Sam Howell
consistent.
played good in the preseason though, so
Yeah, I agree.
he was balling in the
That means
preseason.
nothing.
I take the 49ers. I'm not really sold on the Broncos yet. I think I'm gonna gamble with Jimmy G and the 49ers.
All right. And Chris, who you got?
Listen, this is hard because all this smack I talked about the Broncos and they're looking trash. Like all that Let's Ride
Just
stuff.
for the record, you did pick them to win the division.
Oh,
You do
I
have
did,
that.
I did, and I know who my second team was, but and I know who I picked who to be last. I stand on it. Yeah, they need to turn around this week. This week needs to be a W, or it's gonna look bad for them. So they need to get it together this week. You're going against the 49ers, who have their number one running back is their number one wide receiver. Their defense isn't as good as it was in years past. I need to see something out of Russell Wilson and his team. I need a statement victory. I don't need a 1 by 3.7 points. I need 10 plus.
They better beat the Texans, so I don't think they're gonna get that.
Listen, you gotta hope. You gotta hope.
Kenny, who you got?
Got San Francisco. We're not with a lot of confidence. Because you got Jimmy G coming back and pulling the trigger, but with the what do you call it, the chemistry that he seems to have with Devontae Adams, is he going to be able to keep that same chemistry with the other guys? Are they still going to be able to eat the way they were, or they're going to be okay with? Rather, will they be okay with not eating the same way that they were before he got there? So I just think the San Fran, I think San Fran is going to take this one. And Denver, I said that Russell, my overreaction on Monday was Russell Wilson was washed, and I just think that they have a bunch of different things going on in dynamics. And Nathaniel Hackett looks like he's in over his head.
And Kenny, that's where I pick up is I think this is must win at this point, or at least must perform with some kind of semblance of life. Like we've watched in Raiders, they've been in the games, they just ain't getting it done in some key moments. We've seen what Kansas City has done, and we've seen what the Chargers represent. I talked about it when we did the hypothetical, and I said all 4 teams ain't making the playoffs. And this is why. Only 2 look like they're going to make the playoffs. That's just how it goes. Wow, what a throw. That should have been a pick. I don't know how you missed that. Second half has started. Pittsburgh does have the ball. Looks like about a 15-yard completion to Chase Claypool. But I am going Denver. I choose to believe that Russell Wilson will figure it out. I don't know how. I am not a Jimmy G guy. Everybody was all, the team feels better now that Jimmy G's in there. Go look at the stats. I don't know if they watched the game. Jimmy G didn't light anything up.
Glorified game manager.
He should have thrown a couple more picks, to be perfectly honest. Like, he didn't play that great.
Debo Samuel. They're gonna have Debo running Wildcat.
They gonna let that kicker.
That's the part that bothers me to a certain extent. I think Debo got paid, but like, they're gonna run him into the ground. And then you got to think Jimmy ain't really been getting a lot of reps with the ones all his off season, so he's gonna have to get up to speed as well. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. But we will see. Russ, you gotta play better. You got too many weapons. You playing this bad. And last but certainly not least, NFC East. It's come to this. Cowboys and Giants on Monday night. LT has said that he will be in attendance to see what all the fuss is about. 11 from heaven. Daniel Jones needs to be wearing one of them helmets that they had in the offseason. Because he's going to have a long...
Are you talking about this turtle, the little turtle shell thing?
He needs the turtle. The same way in New York, they changed those COVID rules when the owners called. They need to change the rules and let Daniel Jones wear a padded helmet for this game.
Why?
Michael might not show up the FS1 for Undisputed, but he's going to show up on Monday night. Like, I know he don't care much about the media, but he don't care about that game. I've seen him at the Pro Bowl sprinting against running backs. He lives for this. This opportunity on this stage, it's gonna be a long night. And Danny don't hold it tight, and he'll throw it to you. So Trayvon, get your hands ready. You might get beat on the double move. Shepard or somebody might get him, but we all know Danny Dimes don't be dropping no dimes. So I got Dallas. It'll be competitive because it is a division game. And Dallas offense doesn't exactly light anything up either. But I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll make enough plays. I think Rush is a much better quarterback than Danny Dimes. And I don't think Rush is that good. But I got Dallas. Kenny, who you got?
Come on, man.
We gotta put it out there for the people.
Dallas. Danny Dimes, they're gonna. Micah Parsons is going to be that menace. Danny Dimes is going to be in trouble. You know what happens when he gets pressured? He winds up putting the ball on the ground. So I got Dallas. I think I got Dallas where the defense is going to win these games.
Damien, I have no idea who the backup is. If anybody knows, please feel free to share. And after what I saw out of the Bears, who cares? But I would like the Texans to keep force feeding Brandon Cooks. That'd be great. You got to get something out of him. And those are our picks. It is here. Dev. Oh, no, I ain't get Dev. Dev, who you got?
I take Dallas.
I'm sadly going with Dallas as well.
All right. So we're pretty similar. We got some differences on the Vikes and Lions. Oh, man, me and Chris picked every game together. That's sick.
Somebody got the father and son combination this week.
Hey, y'all already know who in every shape and form.
Got the Pops and Junior picks this week.
Yeah.
Like
So
me and Kenny was Pops and Junior last week. You and Chris Pops and Junior this week.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that one bit. We're gonna see. I'm gonna come in here next week pissed off because I picked games with y'all and I went 2-7 or something. But
Man. Man,
It's
no
all right.
faith in us, huh?
No faith.
No faith in your
Y'all
colleagues.
went
No,
1-6. What you mean? Y'all pulled a
we had one
Detroit
bad
Lions.
week. We had one bad week. You gonna hold that against us?
Yeah, that's
Man,
all I got
Ray,
to go off of, man.
man, Ray, I
Get in
thought
the
we was
game.
better than I thought we was better than that, man.
Hey, I don't have a lot of faith, Damien, as I told you, but I got more faith in him than
Now,
Danny
we ain't
Dimes.
got that much faith, but while Danny
Now
Dimes back there,
they put Tyrod in the game. We got ourselves a ball game. So if they got a short leash, I can't factor in the Tyrod
yeah,
factor.
who
So
is the
Tyrod is
Steeler
in.
running back?
Najee Harris.
No, not him. That I guess
Benny,
it's that rookie running back, number 30.
I thought it was Benny. It ain't Benny.
Nah, that ain't
Oh,
Benny.
hey. Let me see what we got. We got Jay Warren.
Cause he
Jay
is
Warren.
elusive.
Jalen
He is
Warren.
hard to
Oklahoma
bring
State.
down.
All right.
Cause
Quick
he is hard to
update
bring down.
on our guy Udoka. He has released a statement. For violation of team policies, a decision regarding his future with the team past this season will be made at a later date. So they actually have not confirmed that he will
Oh,
be there long term after this year. They're going to take a year, I guess, to figure it out, which is really weird.
that
I
is
imagine
weird.
he'll be back.
It's either
I don't think
you
they
want
want
the
to
guy
say
on your
he'll be
team or you
back.
don't.
I don't think they want to say he will be back right now. They want to let the fire day die down. But you can't tell me you're gonna wait and then in a year come back and be like, oh yeah, nah, you gone. Like that's just if you don't fire
Yeah,
him
I
now,
already
you ain't.
say if you want him, you gonna come out and say, look, this is our coach. He made a mistake. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? But I don't. Oof. That sounds like they ain't got no faith in him. Maybe they probably want to see how this interim coach is. Then they're gonna see what coaches is out there in that coaching pool, and then they're gonna weigh their options. Man, that sucked though.
And we're looking at, I'm sorry, a situation. Oh no. A Cleveland Browns player was running towards the Steelers lineman, and the Steelers lineman like checked him with his elbow, dropped it. And
I
while he was on
seen
the
that.
ground, the Steelers player jumps on his back while it looks like he's
Ooh,
unconscious. Looks really bad. They brought the cart out. They're taking him off on the cart, but his leg is in like an air cast. It didn't look like his leg. I can't hear it. But I didn't know something was wrong with his leg. His leg didn't look like the
yeah,
problem.
cause I seen when he took the forearm to the face, and I seen he dropped to the ground, but I just thought he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the leg injury came from, but we'll wait to maybe see how that's reported on. But that leads us to one of the games of the week. We got a couple big clashes actually. It's a lot of division games. But Tom Brady, by all reports, they say he has Wednesdays off for the rest of the year. The internet rumored it had to do with marriage counseling those days, or a variety of other reasons. He took the hiatus. He Kyrie Irving'd us right before the season for different reasons. So my question is, with all of this going on, what is your level of confidence in Tampa Bay to make a run? Dev, I'll start with you.
Man, they are very slim. that is a lot on your plate to be sitting here trying to figure out, a happy life, happy wife, what I mean, stuff like that, and then you gotta try to sit here and compete and give you all that, all that you have left in the tank. That's a lot, especially when you got personal matters weighing on you. You can't really concentrate when there's family and personal matters on your head, trying to fulfill your duties at work and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a big distraction for him, and I think this is most definitely Brady's last year. You know what I mean? I think if it's dealing with marriage counseling, I think his wife probably didn't had enough. He was like, "Look, yeah, I'm tired of being home by myself, raising these kids, and you out here living your best life, trying to become ain't you did become the GOAT, but she probably said, she ready for a regular marriage now. The celebrity marriage, she ain't with it no more. So, until Brady can get that rectified, I think it's gonna be a long season for the Bucks.
Okay. Y'all know how I feel about Tom. I don't like betting against him. I did it early in my life. I downplayed his greatness. I always wanted Peyton and Manning to win. And Tom just kept winning. Really, really, really high level. With less and less great talent. So I've seen Tom Brady play with subpar talent and win. I've seen Tom Brady play with Antonio Brown and win. I've seen Tom Brady go to Tampa Bay, who was not a good organization, and win. So I can't help but believe that Tom Brady is going to find a way to win. But man, it looked like this is going to be tough. And I can't imagine, and maybe he knows better than any, I can't imagine when he signed up to come out of retirement, he thought this was coming. Like, this is not a farewell tour. This is not how you want to go out. Like, it's not. But it's clear football is number one in this life. And I've heard Shannon Sharp say it. I've heard Skip Bayless say it. To be at that level, your profession is always going to come first. And I know we make laughing jokes about it, but it's hard reacclimating to society when you've done something the majority of your life. Like, he's been playing football more than half his life, probably. Well, at a professional level, almost more than half his life. He's been playing football all his life. And now he got to be a dad to young adults. These aren't babies or toddlers. It's a huge adjustment. And it tells you how much he loves it, because not only is he willing to put his marriage and family at risk, he turned down that Fox money. The deal was reported as like $250 million to come talk. So not only did you turn your family down, you turned Fox down to come play football and run around with this miserable wide receiver talent. Like,
Lee.
I mean, it is what it is.
Miserable though.
Julio can't stay healthy. Godwin can't stay healthy. Perriman's not that good. Scotty Miller's not that good. Cole Beasley was sitting on ice. And Mike Evans is out now. And Mike Evans has been locked down by a couple different people. So I like Mike Evans, but he's had some of them games. There's no Gronk. There's no real tight end. Lenny's played well. We joked about his weight, but he's played well. But outside of that, you sacrificed all this for this? That's why it's Tom Brady. Like, no, I think the list of people that would make that deal is real low. And so I think they'll figure their way through it. I just believe in Tom Brady. You heard Mike Evans, when they asked why he did it, he said, it's Tom Brady. And Tom will take care of him, I'm sure, but I think it's going to be tough. Chris, your thoughts?
Muted.
You muted.
Would you be surprised? My question to y'all real quick, would y'all be surprised if Tom Brady retires mid-season because all that's going on?
Yes.
Yeah. The competitor he is, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, their chances of being anything is real slim. First of all, the roster isn't that good. A lot of injuries, and with all this going on outside of football, I mean, I already picked the Saints to win the division. Now, yes, the Bucks beat the Saints, but we got 15 plus weeks of football, so we don't know what's going to go on, with this organization or what's going on personally with Tom Brady. So I think this is definitely his last year. He obviously wants to go out, being a GOAT that he is, winning another Super Bowl, making another run. But this might not be the year. This might not be the year. He has a tall task on his hands. I haven't seen him have a workload like this probably since he's with the Patriots. Everything's been kind of sweet for him since he's been with the Bucks. Offensive line, receivers, very great defense. This year, it's looking like Patriots 2.0. So we're going to have to see Tom Brady, tap back in, show why he's great. But again, I don't see them winning anything this year.
Yeah. If it was anybody else, I would definitely agree. I'm very clear that this is a Tom Brady exclusive stance I'm taking, but we'll see. They keep figuring it out. They're figuring it out so far. They beat as great and as much respect as I gave Michael Parsons. Tom figured out a way to beat him. Mm-hmm. New Orleans has had his number. Jameis helped, but he figured out a way to beat him. I just think you're going to keep figuring out ways to win. And I think his teammates want to win for him. I think that's clear. The level of camaraderie they have, that's why he's him. So we'll keep it moving right along. We're going to go right up the I-95 to Baltimore. Dev, after that crush, devastating choke job of a loss, after Lamar played amazing in that game up until the end, and after not paying Lamar in the offseason and trading away Hollywood Brown, I have one question. What are the Ravens doing? And are you concerned about the future?
The future? I'm always concerned about the future. You know what I mean? Especially right now, we ain't even lock our franchise quarterback up yet. So that's the biggest question mark right there. As far as everything else, I think once they clear the storm of Lamar, the Ravens can try to clear up everything else. Hollywood Brown trade, like I keep trying to tell everybody, I don't think
y'all get for him?
Picks.
I don't future picks.
I think they're gonna be like future picks or something like that.
Okay.
It wasn't that too big. I want to say it was like a second round and something else. Can't remember what it was, but it wasn't.
Y'all got a first round pick for him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the number 23. Yeah. So whoever y'all drafted number 23. Go ahead, my bad.
Trading away Hollywood Brown, I'm not gonna say that's a big key loss because right now our wide receivers look like they kind of trying to step up a little bit. Devin Duvernay, he got 2 receiving touchdowns and he only had 2 receiving touchdowns all last year. He's an amazing special teams returner. Bateman, you're starting to see that he can make big plays. The only thing about Bateman is he just got to keep it going. As long as he can stay consistent, I think Bateman can be talked about as one of the big receivers in the game. Only thing about the Ravens right now on our offensive tip is it's our rushing attack. Our rushing attack has not showed up at all, other than Lamar busting out that 119 last week. we have not seen 100 yards rushing yet, especially from a running back. So I most definitely think our offensive line going to have to do a better than run blocking. To get some get some push up in that interior. Our running backs need to hit these holes hard. Hopefully, J.K. Dobbins, whenever he come back, he can put a little spark into that running back. Defensive wise, we signed JPP today. I don't know how much it was a big deal. He's going to bring. I think he's probably going to bring about like 7 sacks maybe. Towards us. Hopefully, he can at least be like a guy that you can kind of put your eye on a little bit. I understand JPP. This is his later in his career. He's not the guy. Even when the Bucks won a Super Bowl a couple years ago. But he is a name. Hopefully, he can bring some attention, or where he can get open. Or what's our rookie that I don't know if he's gonna wind up playing this year. What's his name? David Ojolwe. He's from Michigan. I don't know if he planning on playing this year or not, but hopefully he do. And the defense most definitely cannot play in cover 2 when we got speedy receivers out there. Please do not play in cover 2, man, because Tyreek Hill and Wilder will reemerge again, man. But other than that, I think the Ravens is in an okay stage. I still believe in us winning our division this year. Now that Cincinnati is most definitely taking a step back so far. Cleveland is playing subpar game. So is Pittsburgh. Long as we can stay above those two, we can come out the division, and hopefully, hopefully we can get deep into the playoffs, and hopefully Lamar can get his recognition that he deserves.
And just for the record, y'all drafted a center, Tyler Linderbaum. But y'all apparently had the number 1 draft class, according to some people. So maybe that Hollywood Brown pick turned out pretty good for y'all. But we're gonna keep it moving. Chris, what you think? Is Baltimore destroying this? Like, what is Baltimore doing? How do they make it right? What do you have happening going forward?
They make it right by giving him at least 180, close to 200 million guaranteed. If not, I don't see Lamar Jackson being a Raven by next season. I'm putting that out there. Yes, Lamar Jackson is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but it's like the Ravens don't want to help him succeed. You get rid of wide receivers. Trade away the offensive line. You don't bring in the right depth. You don't change up maybe coaching philosophies. You stay in the same philosophy since Lamar became a full-time starter. And yes, it wins you games, but are you really excelling? Are you really being the best team that you can be? I feel like right now there's like, okay, Lamar can do this, can do that. But I look what the Eagles did getting the A.J. Brown. I look what the Cardinals did, getting the D-Hop. There was a lot of our receivers, offensive line talent that the Ravens could have got, but instead, they didn't do anything. And so I'm looking at what's going on with Lamar Jackson. If I'm him, I'm saying, listen, if I don't get my 200 minimum guaranteed, trade me, because I'm not playing. Because they don't do enough for him to be a starting quarterback, a former MVP, one of the best players, most recognizable players in the game today. They do not do enough for him. I look at what's going on with Kansas City, right? You lose 2 wide receivers. You lose Hill. You lose, I can't remember Demarcus Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. But you bring in a Juju. You bring in the wide receiver from the Packers. You try to make that offense still be very competitive. I'm looking at all these teams making moves, and I don't see the Ravens making any. And it's disappointing me that Lamar is going to continue to get the blame. So if I'm him, I need 200 mil guaranteed, or I'm not suiting up. And
but you got to think, wide receivers kind of didn't want to come to the Ravens offense particularly because Greg Roman doesn't really open up for the wide receiver.
Oh yeah, and which is sad that's very, very sad. But I'm glad you recognize that it's not Lamar and it's more of the coaching staff. Lamar can make some of these throws. We're not asking him to make tight throws all the time. I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can take off just like Lamar, but the offense, sometimes allows him to throw for 300 plus yards, 200 plus yards multiple times. So it's about a coaching staff open up and changing the philosophy. If they don't do that, they don't want to win. So that right there, it's a lose-lose situation right now for the front office. So they need to try to make a winning situation happen.
So, Chris, you say the philosophy. So what do you envision when you say what should they change the philosophy to?
I mean, you don't have to run the ball, and Lamar uses rate. Lamar doesn't have to be Derrick Henry running the ball. Then you still ask him to be Patrick Mahomes. Like, get more receivers, or go dual tight end. Do something to where Lamar doesn't have to be your team's leading rusher every single week. Make him, he can throw the ball. He led the league in touchdowns for a reason. He doesn't have a terrible arm. He has an arm. Put it to use. The more weapons you put around him, the more open that offense will be. Right now, everybody knows they're going to run, but if you add more receivers or another tight end or more receiving options, that's only going to open up the passing game and the run game. So, right now, it feels like they're 70-30. Sometimes it feels like watching them. Obviously, they don't have no running backs, and you still need Lamar Jackson to rush for 119 yards. I don't understand. It's been like this since he's been a full-time starter, in my opinion.
I mean, I think last year was kind of a fluke. They lost 4 running backs before the season started. So I think that kind of
4 running backs, 4 DBs.
The thought was that Dobbins would be, kind of the bell cow-ish, so to speak. And I don't know if he can really be that so far. And again, Lamar's Lamar, so you still want Lamar to be Lamar. But I guess, Damian, to your point of who's more at fault for not getting the Lamar contract done, I think it's the Cleveland Browns. When they gave Deshaun Watson all that money,
$230 guaranteed,
with all that over his head, with no MVPs,
right along with Kyler Murray.
I love Deshaun, but when you start talking about accolades in the NFL, he can't really touch Lamar. And so I believe he's a better quarterback than Lamar. So I understand why Cleveland paid him what they paid him. But if I'm Lamar and I'm looking at what the facts are, you can't pay me less than he got paid. And if I'm Baltimore, I probably think he's a better quarterback. And your shelf life is short, the way you play the position. So you want me to fully guarantee a whole bunch of money, but you a huge injury risk. You want to play pickup, throw a catch over the offseason with kids on a blacktop. I can't control what you do. You want to be your own agent. So I can't even predict, who I'm dealing with. And you want me to give you close to $300 million? Like, I get it. So as far as who's more at fault, I think Deshaun Watson messed it up. And I think the other part, or Cleveland and Deshaun messed it up, but the other part is Lamar and Kyler. Kyler took less than Deshaun because he ain't as good. Lamar don't feel that way. And so it'll be interesting to see because next year, I believe Herbert and Burrow come up. And so we'll see then if they eclipse Watson. But somebody got to be willing to hold out and do it. And right now it's Lamar. I'll be curious to know, especially with the way Cincinnati's season's going and the hits that Burrow's planning on take. I'll be curious to know what that contract negotiation looked like. Because he did take him to a Super Bowl. But that offensive line is atrocious, and that young boy is not going to last.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's trying to tell you that is ALJ, and if I'm him,
and if I'm him, I'm looking at what we look at with some of these other young, talented quarterbacks. You're not getting me what I need. Go get Lamar some receivers. Go get Aaron Rodgers some first-round picks. Go get Joe Burrow an offensive line, and they tried it, but that's on the scouting department. Somebody failed at whoever, because they signed almost a whole new offensive line. Somebody should be fired for the offensive line they've put together based on, or the coach, the offensive line coach got to get fired. somebody got to go. We talking potentially next 20 to 25 years, the way the NFL quarterbacks are going to be trending with the way the game is played. You risking 20 to 25 years because you don't get very many of those guys. And Burrow's one of them. So they got to figure that out. But as far as who's more at fault, I blame Cleveland personally.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland did, just like the Gobert trade, mess up the market. But if we had to stick with the Ravens or the front office, I think it's by far the front office. I don't blame Lamar because, like, it's simple. Pay me. Look what I've done. An agent really can't say more. Like, it's that obvious to point. It's not where, like, I feel like if you are at a certain status as a player, you might need an agent. But when you're in that upper tier, it's like, listen, every time a quarterback gets paid, if you're in that same tier, the market needs a reset. So you need to get a little bit more higher than him. I'm looking at Lamar, and you talked about Deshaun Watson. We talked about Kyler Murray. Their resume doesn't touch Lamar's. And I don't think Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than Lamar. Deshaun, yes, I still think Deshaun is the second best quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen been showing me a lot. But the point I'm trying to make is Lamar deserves more than Kyler Murray. And close to he deserved 215 plus. I'm up at it from 215 plus guaranteed. Ravens front office pay him before he's a Philadelphia Eagle.
Shoot, y'all got it.
Hey,
but you know who don't. But you know who don't got a quarterback?
The Commanders.
That team straight down I-95.
and we got some weapons down here. We need somebody to get the ball to the weapons. But we got some weapons.
Hey, I already said it. I said, I guarantee you, if Lamar hit this free agency, every team, I don't care what team you are, they're going to look at their starting quarterback. They're going to look at their starting quarterback and was like, damn, well, we can get Lamar, man. Oh, I don't know, yo. Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz, y'all might got to hit the bricks, man. I don't know. Lamar changes the game.
Indeed.
So Dev, I'll ask you. What do you think is more likely since they didn't get the deal done? Do you think they're more, assuming they don't get a deal done, do you think it's more likely they'll franchise Lamar next offseason, or do you think they'll try and trade him?
Franchise him. Because
this, truth be told, this is basically a franchise year for him because he ain't got no deal next year. So if he get hurt this year,
I think he's gonna follow that Kirk Cousins pattern. Take the friend. I'm gonna keep betting on myself, and it's gonna be somebody. Yeah, somebody's gonna. Yeah, number one, the Ravens are gonna keep paying me $50 to $60 million a year just for a rental, and then number two, it's gonna be another team after I get this 50 to 60 a year from the Ravens. It's gonna be another team that's looking to probably gonna pay me a little bit more than 50 to 60 mil now. Or they're going to give me that money.
I just don't think you can really have a successful future when you franchising your quarterback. It just sends all the wrong message.
Yeah, because look what happened to Washington. It kept biting Washington. You kept on giving this man that little 1 year deal. And then that's thing, Kirk Cousins like, man, you know what? I'm tired of this franchise tag. Minnesota, what's up? Y'all giving me a fully guaranteed deal? All right, I'm on.
No, I understand. And so we did lose Kenny earlier, but I did want to try and get his take on this. But if you're Dak Prescott and you hear Jerry Jones talking about he would love for there to be a competition, and not sure of who the quarterback should be, because that would mean that the team is winning. The team can't win if the quarterback don't play well. So if you hear that Dak, he already said, I overpaid you. You used me to replace Tony Romo. And now you said you would love for there to be a quarterback competition. If you're Dak Prescott, are you rushing back? Like, what is Dak Prescott thinking at this moment? If you're Dak,
if I am Dak, I am thinking that number one, I'm taking my time on this end. We talked about this last episode that it took Russell Wilson a nice period of time to actually get the feeling of a ball back, for his thumb and all that good stuff. So that's number one. I'm worrying about my health. Number two, I keep saying it. Jerry Jones sold his soul to the devil. And as long as he's the owner, he's around, the Cowboys ain't gonna win. They are cursed. It's just like, I don't understand. Yo. He's like the only owner in the whole league that can just say one thing and everything just get blown out. Of course, we will like the quarterback controversy. Every team wants two quarterbacks to go head to head to see who's the best quarterback. Because that lets you know that, say for instance, Lamar and Tyler Hunt. Don't you think those two come to practice every day? Don't you think Tyler Huntley say, look, I'm coming to beat Lamar at least one of these practices. I have to show that I am a starting quarterback in this league, not just a backup. Don't you think you want your backup to think like that? So, and then don't you think you want your starter to be on his heels to be like, man, if I take one bad step, that this backup quarterback.
If you playing scared, that's when you start making mistakes. When you start playing tight.
No, I'm not saying he should play scared. But don't you think you want your starting quarterback to not be comfortable, to be sitting like, oh man, it's Cooper Rush behind me, man.
I don't want my starting quarterback looking over his shoulder at every single mistake.
I ain't say he had to look over his shoulder, but don't you?
If you make mistakes, it's okay. We ain't gonna yank you just for making this mistake. You have a couple bad games. We don't want the fans calling for the backup. You have a competitive backup.
The fans is going to call for the backup regardless.
Nah.
The fans is going to call.
The fans have 2 or 3 bad games. They ain't calling for no backup.
We don't even know who the Bucks backup is.
Say Lamar had a bad run, and Lamar's had some bad runs. You think if Lamar lose, say the Ravens lose the next 4 games, you think they're going to be calling for Tyler Huntley?
Hell no.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying. But I'm not talking about.
If Carson Wentz lose the next 4 games,
that's something different. That's something different. That's something different.
I'm about ready to call Taylor Heineke name by halftime every week because Carson Wentz.
See, Carson Wentz, he put himself in that hole. So you have every reason to feel like that. You know what I mean? Because anywho, but no, I'm not saying to be looking over your shoulders. I'm not saying, but at least a little bit of competitiveness to make iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I got Tyler Huntley just to have standing on Lamar like, look, boy, you mess up, dog. I am on you. Your job is mine. No, I'm not saying like that, but I'm just saying like Tyler Huntley could come up to Lamar was like, look, yo, I think maybe you should have zigged before you zagged on that one. You know what I mean? Or he's like, just a kind of like brotherhood competitiveness. Not like how Tannehill was trying to make Malik Willis situation was when he came down there. He was like, oh, I'm not teaching this guy. I'm not here to do this. Stuff like that. Now you're going to have that controversy and everybody's going to kind of pick sides. But Jerry Jones, shut up, yo, because golly, I just don't understand, man. I think he just be talking just to hear his sound in his voice. I think that's all he do now. But if I was that, take your time, man. Get healthy. You know what I mean? That no offense, that team is not gonna win with you or without you this year, man. Y'all ain't gonna win the Super Bowl whether you come back early or whether you come back late. I think the Cowboys are who they are, man. They just like between the second and third best team in that division.
Yeah. How do I want to deal with this? So let me. I was a Dak fan coming out of Mississippi State. I like Dak. I've said it before.
I liked it before he got drafted.
There's a lot of Cowboy players I did like until they got drafted to the Cowboys. And even in that, I still kind of root for some of them because I still liked them then. Amari Cooper is out here getting busy tonight. Like, I don't know if Fitzpatrick is guarding him or what, but he is dogging whoever Pittsburgh is trying to guard him with. But yeah, if I'm Dak, you got what am I saying? The man gave you a bunch of money. He's paying you a bunch of money that you earned. He ain't give it to you. You earned it.
Mm-hmm.
But you only got so many times to keep disrespecting me. Like, I could see if your resume was like it. It ain't. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys ain't won the Super Bowl in 25 years. So what gives you the credibility to talk about me in this way? I couldn't imagine Robert Kraft when Jimmy Garoppolo was on the team saying, I would love for us to have a competition. He is not saying that to Tom Brady because their relationship is in such. He ain't going to do that and disrespect that man. Even Green Bay, they've been trying to push Aaron Rodgers out the back door, but they ain't going to come out and say, I would love for there to be this kind of competition. Like, it's just crazy. Dan Snyder ain't a good owner, and even he ain't gonna come out and say, we got two quarterbacks that we would love to have a competition. That's not your job as owner or GM.
Right.
Like,
Dang.
Seattle got two
man.
terrible quarterbacks. Pete Carroll, I can assure you, was not hoping that the competition was close between those two guys. So God bless Jerry.
God bless Kenny. He got to deal with it.
He did.
Just imagine, man.
So
just imagine if Snyder came down, started saying like, "Yeah, Carson Wentz, he's the quarterback." The next thing you know, he'd be like, "Carson Wentz is trash." Like,
you know what,
man?
And this is something I will have to give Dan Snyder credit for. Mike Shanahan was trying to get Kirk Cousins in there.
Right.
Daniel Snyder stuck by RG3 until he just couldn't. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. When they talk about would you like to see the competition, I would love Cooper to play well, but Dak is our quarterback.
Right.
Simple.
You know, iron sharpens iron. You could, like I said,
we believe in Cooper. We've carried Cooper around. He's going to be great. He's going to step in. But Dak's our quarterback. Like, not, oh yeah, well, once he gets back, basically what you're saying is Dak ain't been playing that good because Cooper Rush, who's bounced around with a couple good games of play, could threaten his job. Nah, buddy. I don't know who the backup is in Kansas City, but I don't care how many good games he got. He ain't replacing Patty Mahomes.
Ain't it no, it's not Chase Daniels. But who was it? Chase Daniels? Nah, Chase Daniels. I think that's the the Chargers backup quarterback. Dang. Who was it? Daniels a couple years ago.
It was, yeah, it was Chase. I don't know who it is now. Nick Chubb tried to go hard, and Bush said, "No, sir." Accent, he's not. Please.
My man said,
try again. Oh, man.
Said, God bless
Nick Chubb thought he was doing something, throwing that little shoulder in there. He got folded. Boom. Sit your butt down.
Emotional damage.
Yeah. Third and goal, another draw. And the Steelers defense holds. We got fourth and goal from the 1. Division rivalry. Browns up 2. And Cleveland is going to wait for it. Looks like they're going to go. The offense is still out on the field. Keep in mind, a field goal would make this a 2-score game. Well, a field goal couldn't beat you. If they don't get this, a field goal can beat them. And touchdown, Nick Chubb. Happy fantasy owners everywhere. Pop champagne. All right. So we got through that touchdown, Cleveland. I think we all picked Cleveland. I believe you. I think
Dev, I was the only one that didn't.
Yeah. Do I have any games picked with you? I'm about to unpick them because you not. Now
hey man, this is division rival, man. I didn't even want to pick neither one of these teams. For real.
And yeah, you did. We all had the Eagles.
I thought the Steelers' defensive line was going to be a little bit better than this. I ain't hear Cam Hayward name all game.
Yeah, they've been getting pushed around quiet as it's kept. But I'll say we can save that topic because I want to get more people's talk on it. Where do I want to go? We might have some games to catch up on. We can go to your squad. The same question I was at. Oh, this is another your squad. What's going on in your squads? Dennis Schroeder. Why do you keep adding point guards?
And it's like our fourth point guard that we have. We got Kendrick Nunn. You got Dennis Schroeder. You got
Russell Westbrook.
Patrick Beverly. Yeah, that's 4 points.
Relatively small. Like
I don't know what I don't know if they trying to do run and gun, but I thought that run and gun stage was over with a couple years ago when Golden State couldn't do it against Braun and them and the Cavs. But I don't know which way the Lakers is going. Dennis Schroeder, I like Dennis Schroeder because I was mad that he didn't take that deal when we offered him that a couple years ago. Because Dennis Schroeder, he's a 15-point getter. He can play defense. I just like Dennis Schroeder. He goes out there. He plays hard. Now at times he do get a little showboat. You know, when him and LeBron, with that time LeBron had shot the jumper, turned around and turned him and all that other stuff, showing off a little bit. But overall, I would take Dennis Schroeder. If I had to choose Dennis Schroeder over Patrick Beverly, I think I would choose Dennis Schroeder still. Just because on the offensive level, Dennis Schroeder is on. I'm not saying that Dennis Schroeder is the best point guard in the league, or he's going to be the best point guard in the league, but I believe he fits the league. He fits with LeBron. I don't know why teams just keep letting Dennis Schroeder bounce around.
Yeah, I don't really get it personally. I think he's a solid player. They got him. I think they need to move. Remove Russ before you keep bringing all these people in that play the same position. Because somebody.
But do you think that's the reason why they bringing all these guards in now? Because maybe they figured that you can't get too much back from Russ, so that maybe they trying to get what they can get now before they let Russ kind of go for like a wash machine, pretty much. You know what I mean? Because you ain't gonna get no. You're not gonna get a KD for a Russ or a Kyrie for a Russell. You know, it's gonna have to be a little bit more. You had to give up a little bit more just to get those players. So just giving up Russ, I don't know who you can really compare to him in a good trade package just to be a good swap anymore. Honestly, I would take Russ. I would keep Russ. I would have keep busting Dennis Schroeder. I wouldn't keep Pat Bev.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, I think they know, you have to get rid of Russ.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep bringing in guards, it forces your hand all the more, so you lose the little of any leverage you got. You just continue to say, we know we need to trade Russ. Here, let us tell you more ways of how we need to trade Russ. But we still don't want to give up our draft picks. But we need you to take Russ. You're hustling backwards. Damien, I did not watch the interview with JJ Redick, so I don't want to speak on it, and I didn't hear anything even come out about it, so I will have to look into that. I wasn't familiar with it. I'm not super interested in hearing what he has to say anyway, though. Like, I've seen enough to know kind of what time of time I believe he's on. So, I don't know, Dev, did you see it?
No, I didn't see it either. I don't even know. I thought Ben Simmons was still on his hiatus, honestly. After he came out and said that he was a good shooter now, all of a sudden, whatever the last topic we talked about Ben Simmons, that was the last thing I heard about.
Fair enough. All right. That's all I really got. I know we had a lot to get to, so I appreciate y'all riding with us through this. We got our picks in, Dev. Don't let me down, Dev, on the games we picked together. I need you to win some of them.
Man, look, man. Don't try the next time. Don't hop on my bandwagon. The next time you pick your picks first. You know what I mean? You let me pick my picks first.
Because that mean if I pick first, that mean something was wrong with me, and I need to go back and fix
it. There's still something wrong with you.
Oh, man.
Don't try to hide that fact, man.
Well, I do hope y'all have a blessed weekend. Again, appreciate y'all joining us. As more information comes out, always stay tuned to ASAP. We got some big things coming here on ASAP Network. Big
yes, sir.
Yes, so sir. We'll have some more stuff coming for you guys. Damien, we're getting Mayweather Conor again because they've done the math that says people will pay them. So why not? If somebody was offering you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe $100 million, you're not going to take it? You daggone right you're going to take it. That's why Floyd in Japan right now fighting somebody. Like, I don't care how rich I am. I still like my millions of dollars. And I got a lifestyle.
I was watching something on Instagram. I was watching something on Instagram. Floyd was training, working out.
Yeah, he got a fight, I think, in Japan this week.
He's still fast. That boy fast.
Yeah.
Still got that, you know what I mean, that head movement. I'm like, dang, yo.
No key people getting on Jake Paul for who he fighting. Floyd ain't been fighting nobody either.
Right.
So, and I'm Floyd, my guy, but get your money, man. They're gonna give it to you. Take it.
Man, Mitchell Trubisky look like trash.
Yeah, he's looking bad, man. He's looking bad. I benched, I think, almost all my Steelers players because I knew he was trash.
Dang. All of them?
I ain't trust Mitchell Trubisky. I might have started Claypool in one league. I'm trying to see. Yeah, this league I'm looking at right now, I started Claypool. Oh, in one league I do have Freiermuth playing, and he has no points.
None. Dang. They tried to just give it to him, and he ain't get nothing.
None. But the guy I'm playing against had Njoku on the bench, but he got Mark Andrews, so that makes sense. I wouldn't have obviously started Njoku over Andrews.
It looked like Kenny Pickett might be coming in soon.
About time. Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis need to go ahead and start for their teams. Let's just get it going.
I can go ahead with you with Tannehill not being a starting quarterback.
Yeah, that year's
I haven't
the division is one of them.
I haven't even seen Kenny Pickett. I didn't even see Kenny Pickett in college, so I really don't know too much about him.
I don't either. I just saw him in preseason. He looked good. And Mitch looks terrible, so makes sense to me.
We seen Mitch in Chicago, so.
We did. All right, man. You have a good one, my brother. You have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday.
You do the same, my man.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.